Good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your meal because I didn't. I don't know why. But always do the talk. The after lunch is a challenging, right? It's a little bit challenging. But I'm pretty sure of something. I will capture your attention because my accent. You need to pay attention, otherwise you will be off. So anyway. Thanks for the invite. I think it's a privilege to be here. It's these few times to talk about, I feel like I'm talking to the industry, right? I mean, that is pretty nice. And well, I will try to share some experience. You know, I started to work since young vet, and I think I've been blessed in my career to be in the field, hands-on, you know, as lesson learned from, you know, Gonzalo Castro, big people leader, and he always pushes us, all the team. You know, we have Juan Carlos and Fernando, all the ones that work with him. We were a lot in the field, and I think I had the privilege and the opportunity to learn a lot from it. So I will try to share some experience, and there you go. Success and failure, right? That is the title. It's kind of always is, okay, take a look to the how do you say, the definition, you know, and I found this is very clever from Churchill. You know, success is the ability to go from fan failure to another failure without lose the enthusiasm. So, and that brings us to our definition, which is failure, and it's success in progress. So I think wherever we are in a cycle. So, and as I say, I have the privilege to have good time in this section. I'd like to divide, well, we do today formally, right? GDU, G-Barn, and Farrowing. And Farrowing is my favorite. It's my favorite stage of production in Site 1, but it's the one I have less time to invest, because usually when you get to a farm, you gotta focus on yields, it's like a step of improvement. Farrowing is kind of the last step of the improvement thing, and sometimes doesn't make sense when you have a total board low, the farrowing has less pressure, things like that, you know. But I want to say something about this. Having the opportunity to work in this, you know, with the team, I learned that farrowing was one of the most frustrating parts of the section of the farm. You know, everyone, you know, the G-Barn, they finish the achieve breeding target, they do the conception rate. I mean, they do their task. In farrowing, never finish. Never finish. You always have something going on. So imagine this, you gotta go home and you care about animals. Front-end people, they care about animals. But however, they gotta leave home knowing that that sow will have an issue, that sow probably will be prolapse or die, or that piglet will die. That is not a nice feeling, and that's happened every day. So I call, you know, the team kind of get a sense of tolerance for things that we should, you know, tolerance less. So I just want to make that point, no? And now in terms of success and failure, the system, right? I mean, there's different ways that we measure, you know, benchmark or measure KPIs, lower per-wing mortality, average pin wing per sow, that is the most common, right? Efficiency, respect, you know, based in total born, or throughput. You know, there's different ways. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong way, I'm just saying it's different ways. And also, we face a scenario of high turnover, short touch people, right? High variability in results. And this is, I think you will agree with me, SOPs and manual protocols. I think in farrowing, if you compare this room, all the companies that are here, all the farms that are here, I think we have the most the farrowing protocol is the most different, the one that has more variation, because too many processes, because a lot of going on, and because probably we don't know how to do better. So I think that's important. And plus, on top of that, is the execution. You add more variables. So and then the records, per-wing mortality, 3 to 4 weeks behind. So what is the sense of reaction? What is the sense of urgency? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of challenge. It's a challenge stage. So at the Lehman, I have the lucky and the system are today realizing that, because we increased the total born, so we are getting in that portion of the, you know, where the farrowing is the right time. we see the high pre-wean mortality that hurt us, and today we're focused more and more. So it was a session in the Lehman. I think Mark Schwartz did a very nice job presenting the multi-cycle common creep, which even he say even is improved for some farms. It's hard to scale this up, how to put this in a scale. So, but what I'm saying is companies are trying. The Masher also present different fostering techniques. So I think we're getting more and more quality information that will help us to learn. Tosh did a nice presentation too, more philosophical. So, and again, I don't say we are being success or failure, but we are in process. So this is part of the dilemma, right? Total burn going up, born alive going up, and you see the slope there in the this is have a laser. Well, in the top, like the 0.23, 0.22, so the born alive follow very tight the total burn. However, the mortality is 0.15, so you see how the gap is getting bigger. That's a challenge, and that's not new. This happened before, so it's a constant. This will keep this different. This gap will keep increasing. So, I was discussing with Pig the other day, and he made a good comment. The sow carried 40 to 47 more uterus weight than 10 years ago. That's a different sow. That's different things going on there. So, something that maybe we need to learn about. And this, in all this picture, I think we oversee. Not miss. We just forget about the nature. And in the nature, the pigs are, I don't know how to pronounce this, politicus, which means produce multiple pigs in one farrow, more than the species need to get on, to continue, And that is a parental optimism that can afford problems for unpredictable scenarios in lactation. So this demands extra energy. Okay, and in order to optimize the energy consumption for the rest of the pig, those extra pigs should die as early as possible. Are that happening in the industry? I don't say that we need to, but it's reality. This is nature. So in the way that the sow achieve this proportionality is exactly all the things that we talk all the time. Uterine space, and limited colostrum, same amount of colostrum for more pigs, and lower survivability, for the weakest pigs. So that's something that I think we often we forget. The problem is this is exponential. As we increase the total burn, we increase this phenomenon, this nature issue, nature response. So what I'm saying is, bad news, we will keep dealing with this for now and ever, okay? And on top of that, we all know the colostrum limitation. The placenta is different in the swine, and so we depend of the passive immunity. So this brings the industry chain effect, I call, from uterus, farrow, lactation to post-weaning, right? And there is a lot of research about that, how many the grounds that we increased total burn. So I'm glad to hear Bill this morning talking about breaking that trend. I think that is something that clever, that we need the help of genetic companies for that, but this is reality, this is what's going on. In farrowing, delivery process is higher, the time. If we make a math, how many total burn we have today, gosh, we are increasing to 2 hours, plus the process. And that process is painful for the sow, that process is stressful for the sow, and of course, is for the piglets that are behind the second half, low chances, right? So then in lactation, increased competition, second half, I said already, and fixed colostrum, I said already, so, and then the consequence of this in growth finish is something that we also need to pay attention. So now the newborn pig, right? I love this, piglet born wet, hungry, and cold. Dr. Coleman, time ago, I train this every time, and need to get dry, full, and warm. We all believe that. Today, at least in my case, it seems like it's not enough. It's not enough. We're missing things. And then the nature again. The piglets are attracted by pheromones from the sow, from the hooves. They get the smell. They get attracted. They get attracted to the colostrum. They get attracted to the sow gland. Darkness, a way of the lamp. So temperature. So this is at the end of the day, this is a race for life. We know the colostrum goes down 50% at 6 hours, the farrow. So it's a race of the time, and this is the ironic thing. I always, sorry for the word, but I say, and we're trying to fix this with one freaking heat lamp. So that is you know, it seems crazy. There is a lot going on there, and we try to, which I'm not saying, I exaggerate it to make the point, okay? We do a lot of more things, but I think you get the point. So it's a race for life. Then how we approach the dilemma? Well, just simple math. Totalborn is the roof, and the only way that we have to reduce that gap is stillborn, you know, reduce the stillborn and save piglets. Reduce stillborn, the farrowing attendant is a key, we know that. Identified risk sows is, you know, a tips, you know, like I get proactive. Then piglet saving, front-end focus, Teat administration. And as I always say, establish mom and litter relationship as soon as possible. After that, it's all about environment, feed, and water. Take care of the sow, she will take care of the piglets, right? So the totalborn, as I said before, totalborn, this is a nice chart that tech service Francisco did time ago. We can see the normal distribution of the totalborn. This is in 100,000 plus data points, sample size, and then we see the stillborn. So we will continue in this pattern. Of course, we have the parity factors and all that stuff, but this is reality. So our front-end people or the attendant people should have a PhD in this slide. There's no more than that. Prior farrow, record, you know, be proactive, you know, identify the risk factors, and maybe allocate the sows in the same place. I know we're short of labor, but I don't know, there's tips there. And then during the farrow, recognize the signs to see when you have a sow having problems. So that's the only way I know how to save pigs. Then the attending farrow, yes, that is the most useful thing. This chart is from the same database before, just the higher and lower stillborn frequency. And divide, you know, you can see here attendant, not attendant, induced, not induced, and by the end of the day, attendant is the one that makes the statistics different here. Both extreme, they behave the same. So know your enemy for safe pigs. You gotta know your enemy. So this is a 206,000 sows healthy, just healthy, is to make the number more, you know, representative. And yeah, the layons, the low vibe, and the starts are at the end of the day, 76% of the reasons of pre-wean mortality. So then, same concept than before. The lowest, these are the better 15 farms versus the worst 15 farms, and you see the same distribution. So it's just a matter of the rate, but it's the same. Know your enemy. So age, day 0. Yeah, we all know day 1. Actually, 50% of the mortality happens in the early stage. We say that is nature, that is natural selection. It's interesting, some data from Europe showing that in the last 10 years, at least in Europe, I don't know that database, but they say that the average of mortality moved from 2.9 or 3 to 5.4. So we're pushing the age up, which is go against the concept that they need to save that energy for their pigs. But I don't know, that's the database that they show in Europe. And then day 4, 62% of the mortality. Then if we combine both, we have this total, still layons, low vibe at the bottom in the first column there, that is day 0. And then we have, you can see everything happen early, as we say. You have layons all the way, but just minimal rate. The big things happen at the beginning. Time ago, I did by myself. When I used to have time and go to the farm, I post 300 pigs of the day 0. And interesting found it is 50% of the mortality that day was, or in that period of time, sorry, was layons. And 70% of them have full bellies, and they weigh 2.3 pounds average. So those are the guys that hopefully we need to go for. So risk factors, Ran, I think, showing this morning, very nice, risk factors diagram. I have here just some of them. I will just mention the most significant, I would say, piglets, sows, and environment, right? The sow, I think, again, is very important. If we take care of her, she will take care of the piglets, but there is factors that go against, or positive or negative. Risk factor, genetic line, maternal ability, body condition, we know all this. I will enhance stress. Any stress factor is against nature, is against the release of milk, so the stress is a big one. Pain, We miss the pain of the delivery process. We miss sometimes, I don't know, the pain of the, the pressure of the milk in the other. That is painful. How many of you have seen the piglets going and the sow get avid and restless, So there is things going on there that I think we need to learn more, just learn more. And prolapses on top of this doesn't help. We need to bring more nurse sows. They have the pigs, or this is a factor that unfortunately is affecting us as an industry. In terms of environment, microenvironment, we know that. We have protocol, ventilation, farm size. As farms get bigger, you guess mortality goes up or go down. At least with the same database that get it from Europe, it goes down. And the only way I explain that is we have, better, teat administration. We have more farrows, we can do more stuff. So then the crate is a discussion, not for today. We can do a whole session about the size of the crate. There's many research that, I have customers pushing for bigger crates, which is all right. But we have a lot of variation in that, even in Mexico, and we don't win more pigs with bigger crates today, okay? So maybe look at Europe. I'm very intrigued with the release system. I think that will be interesting to look at, but I will leave it there. So flooring, the pit, that is significant for design a farm. Deep pit, you don't want to do that. And labor, that I will, and again, we can do a whole session, but it's coming a session of labor, so I will miss it. So in our system, we try to answer all those questions, and we do trials. There is a list about 30 trials. We focus on improving mortality reduction, wing weight, labor efficient, sow and pigs comfort, energy saving, and new products. So I will not, and then with the trials, we objectivate, our SOPs, and we train that to the people. That's the way that we work in our company. Not different than many, I think. And I have this, I like this one because it's very visual, right? Big discussion, piece in a pad or block sizing in the first fostering, You can, at the time, we can split all our, employees on one or the other. So at the end of the day, we proved that independent of the block sizing or equal the size, we have same weight at weaning, same per week mortality. It's just the distribution change. And also, the red is literally how many pigs we move if we do piece in a pad. It's 85% more than 85% of the piglets versus 20% if we do, say, block sizing. So for the same results, the only leaders that are benefit on this, of course, are the low vibes. So, and also doesn't make sense to put the pigs the same size in a sow when we know that they release the milk different, different capacity between the ventral or the caudal and the front, right? So as I say, we try to objectivize our SOPs and farrowing attending, our manuals, first fostering, starve, nurse sows, environment. And I've seen out there sometimes that the manuals are very big, very complex, or tight people for do more stuff, less flexibility. We try to keep it simple. For example, in the first fostering, very simple, right? We believe in block sizing. We have two kind of pigs, the smallest, the rans, so they go to low vibe leaders. And the normals, we classify according with number of teats, or actually the number of born alive. So we have the donator, the receptor. In the receptor, we have the nurse sows, and in the middle, we have the ones that we don't touch, okay? We try to keep that and record that. And then in the right, you can see the difference per week mortality with this procedure that we have. I think we do the same thing everywhere, but just maybe the way to record it and the way to analyze is different, don't know. But you can see in the leaders that we don't touch or we don't add pigs, the per week mortality is lower, yeah? The egg of the chicken, I don't know, but just sharing the data. And of course, the low vibe has the higher per week mortality, sorry. And then the nurse sows, yeah, something happened there, right? So, and then the one that we add pigs, the receptor. So for that, we need teats. We need functional teats. We counted. I know it's not perfect. We have years of data. This is a cohort, meaning from P6, we go back all the way and see how the teats were counted in every farrow, in every parity. Again, not perfect, but it's interesting to see how different genetic lines behave different. So we can split this in two groups. There's one that starts with has more teats, and the one that has less teats, and then the slope of the curve. You can see, we can classify this in two groups, but at the end of the day, what matters, is the pigs that they can raise. Some will have more need of nurse sows. We can see the line 8 there, but also they're very competitive. They win, at least in this database, 12.61. You can see there, 11.69, and you can see. So they're very competitive. It's just the different ways and different genetics, which we operate. We gotta manage different, and we need to learn that. I think that detail is important. Now, ironically, we push like a genetic company. We're always saying we need more teats, and then this chart here shows us. Like the black line is the ratio, the theoretical response, which means number of teats, number of piglets, right? And then in the bottom, we have the teat counts, and then how many pigs we put on by parity, okay? And you see, avoid the pig 14, our people start to doubt. If you have 18 teats, are you putting 18 piglets? That's not happening. So we need to learn more about that, right? So teat usage, into the left, 0 means equal number of teat, equal number of piglets. To the left is 1 less, 2 less, is inefficient, right? And to the right is hope, more, which, I don't deny, the physiology or the way that the other works, 20, 30 seconds of milk in every hour, that's what we know. So, however, if the maternal ability can raise that, well, we know in the future is something that I know some genetic companies are going that pattern, and hopefully they can. I don't know. Just saying, in our data today, independent of all genetics together, we can see 1 plus, we increase a little bit the pre-wean mortality, and then it goes way high, right? Which makes sense. So, environment, heat lamps and heat mats. We are a system that we're turning to heat mats, yeah? Lamps is, very important. It's been in the industry for a while. Heat mats, I think we have a very, very bad beginning with the, 2000. But we found this company, it took me 5 years to get this done, like a trust in this product. But we can share here some recently data that there were not different in any mortality measure that we did between heat lamp and heat mat. And having a heat lamp in addition to the heat mat does not reduce mortality. And it's interesting, you can see the day 0, day 1, layons. So we are moving on in this direction. So now, like a benchmarking, right? We operate about 90,000 sows in China, 66,000 in Mexico, and 280 in United States. So in this data, we just select the healthy farms and not startups to have apples with apples. And our pre-wean mortality trend, well, you can see the difference between country, 24/7 means a lot. And then in that box, this has laser. Oh, there is the laser. Shoot, when I'm finishing. So the total born, you see, United States has way more prolificity than they are our markets. But at the end of the day, they're very competitive in the win per sow, win per liter. 12.21 China, 12.5 in Mexico, and United States 12.43. So very competitive in general. Different ways to get to the same goal. Now, just sharing some experience here. Well, this is old. You can see the Excel there. The best experience I have achieving results improving mortality was when we tried to bring data current. We motivate the people. Mortality, weekly, deaths. Not talking about percentage. In a farm, standard size, same amount of crates, flowing. We should have very standard the events. So if we are sure to classify the right, pick the right reasons. I agree with when we go and start reasons in between companies can be crazy town, right? But if we limit it, and at the end we know there are 3 that are significant, And if we monitor this every week, independent of the age even, just deaths per week, we can share that with the team, dashboard or something, and look for difference. Variation makes the opportunity. So we implemented this program many years ago, and it works. I mean, at least at the time, with that scenario and lower total burn. So better maybe wait, but still, I strongly believe this is a way that I would like to approach if I, dealing with pre-mortality, just involve the people. And as I said before, the sense of accomplishment that the team has there is weak. It's weak. So if we bring them something that they can measure, they probably be more motivated. So and something else. Yeah, and of course, extended shift is, we prove, I show charts, attending Farrow is important, so being there. New technologies, I picked this. I know I left many things behind. I think we have a great things going on today in every sense. Big data, I mean, you name it. There's a lot of things going on not just in the swine industry, even though I believe we are behind I'm very jealous compared with other species. The cows, the dairy, they solve their problems. They have the robotic things. Other selection today is for be more, it's not like a before that you have the employee. Today is robotic and jealous. I'm jealous for the dairy. I'm jealous for the salmon industry. They solve their things. We are behind. And we need to think out of the box to get, to bring an opportunity that can be a game changer in our industry. Maybe sorry, I should not say this, but when I saw the multi-storage building in China, I was like, wow. First thing coming in my mind is they're crazy. Second is like, they will break some paradigms. We should learn. We should take a look what's going on there and see if we can bring something. So, I don't know. So, and yeah, in technology, I will say I see many companies bringing or found something and bring it to you, and I don't think I can generalize for everything, but for everyone, but I think there is a gap between what technologies companies are looking and what we need in the farms. Many of the companies are selling or trained artificial intelligence, you name it, big data. But in the farms, we're lacking of people. We need Broom the Holly, So I think it's a disconnection there, but I think we will need to get together to try to solve what we need. So, finishing this, take-home messages. Pre-weaning survivability is a run against nature. I think genetic company plays a big role there. Where is the balance? Don't know. Keep doing. They're doing the job. They're doing great job. We need to adapt, but they play a significant role. Reducing stillborns and improving front end and care and controlling risk factors the best as possible. No secrets, right? Know the enemy and establish normal expectation. I think that is important. And related with that, I don't know if it's real data, because sometimes we spend time capturing the data, and I don't know if it's real data, but at least some sort of data in proper timing to make early interventions, okay? I think that is significant. And role of new technologies, game changer, I don't know, I hope so. So, and with this I finish. When I retire, I'm getting old. When I retire, I just did a simple, 2020, we win 12, 10 years ago, 10.5, so in 2035, don't tell Schinkel I did this projection, okay? Don't, but just saying, 14.25 win. So what do we need to get that? For sure, more total born, right? We know that. More teats available, maternal ability, save more piglets with less people, more technology, and of course, health, I think we got a really, as an industry, we have a big task to achieve here. I think we are in a good direction, we are in a good path, but I think, again, don't forget what I say. If you check your manuals, always in the execution we have variation. But now, if you compare between companies, the variation we have in the protocols are huge. That means some are founding the, well, that means we don't know many things yet. So with that, I finish. Thank you very much. I hope you understand my Spanglish, and I hope I've been in time. So, thank you. No question allowed.
But we do have time for maybe one if there's a pressing question out there. Yep. There has to be one.
You said pigs were attracted to the dark. I thought they were attracted to the light.
No.
The question is, he said he thought the pigs were attracted to the light versus the dark.
Not in the nature. It's a protective instinct. That's the instinct. And I found that in a Danish publication. And to be honest, I couldn't find it to put it the source. But yeah, in the nature, it's not like that. Maybe mixing light, the heat lamp is warm as well, so it's not the light technically what is attracting the pigs. Yeah.